Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Matthew 2:17. The bottom line is that false prophets bring a message that is not from God. Their message contradicts what God instructs, often appealing to our earthly cravings or passions, and ultimately, they produce bad fruit. QAnon is a far-right conspiracy that falsely accuses ex-President Trump's opponents of involvement in child sex trafficking and sometimes cannibalism. It has been a popular pseudo-fascist conspiracy group for the past 17 months. They dated their false prophecies, and as the deadlines for these prophecies came and went, followers continued to hold on to their beliefs in what Q was claiming. The deadlines and dates would change, but the message remained the same. Their message was simple. Anyone who was against Donald was a Satan-worshipping pedophile who drank the blood of children and were involved in a one-world communistic government hell-bent on world domination. In Q's mind, and the minds of those who followed him, Donald was the Messiah, who was the only person in the world fighting against these Satan-worshipping pedophiles. Q began his conspiracy fame in October 2017 on the troll-infested 4chan message boards. He claimed to be a military official who had access to privileged information about Donald's political and international foes. In his first post to 4chan, Q made the claim that former Hillary Clinton aide John Podesta would be indicted on November 6th, and Huma Abedin would be indicted on November 3rd. The small cult followers of Q, who were on the right-leaning forum, rejoiced. When the date passed without the predicted arrests, Q spun up more predictions. New revelations about taking back our great country would come in the following days. He wrote, Trump opponents in the media would be arrested. Donald's opponents would commit suicide over a specific weekend. The interpretations grew even less credible in the following months. Some QAnon fans claim mass arrests would occur January 19, 2019, because the date was National Popcorn Day. Popcorn is a common QAnon theme in reference to Q's appeals to eat popcorn while you enjoy the show. The promise of March 19 arrests were born of the same, increasingly absurd logic. 3/19/2019 is 77 days away from 1/1/2019, one Twitter account reasoned, and 128 days from 11/11/2018. Vague messages like this, frequently repeated, were enough to meme the date into QAnon significance. Restored Republic 3/19/19, one QAnon follower posted, must see. QAnon's failures are so numerous, they've become an ambient white noise that true believers can tune out. In a way, it doesn't matter what QAnon is about anymore. Its authors and adherents have layered it with so many layers of plausible deniability and so many fringe interpretations that they can pivot from a failure or shed an unpopular arm of the theory, like a tree dropping a dead limb. Believers variously subscribe to offshoots about time travel, reptilians, and life elixirs made from children's blood, even if those theories don't explicitly appear in Q's posts. On March 19th, as the promised arrests seemed less and less likely, a popular QAnon Twitter account released what appeared to be a hit list featuring prominent Trump critics villainized by the theory. The theory has already been linked to murders. In January 2018, a QAnon follower allegedly murdered his brother with a sword under the belief that his brother was a reptilian. Q also made the claim that John F. Kennedy Jr. was not actually dead and was going to reveal himself just before the November 3, 2020 elections, and help Donald Trump defeat the evil pedophiles and remain in power. A portion of the insurrectionists involved in the attempted overthrow of our democracy on June 6th were die-hard, false prophet-believing members of the Q conspiracy. They believed they were taking part in helping Donald answer God's call to remain the president so he could continue his quest to rid the world of these Satan-worshiping pedophiles embedded in the United States government. The cult followers of Q believed Donald would lead a group of warriors who would arrest President-elect Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and others who they believed were involved in the pedophilia and world domination, and then Donald would remain in power. They believed the United States military was going to aid Donald in completing his goal. After the attempted coup on our nation's government, 25,000 National Guard troops arrived at the Capitol and secured it. Q stated that the 25,000 soldiers were present for the sole purpose of aiding Donald in the arrest of all those who opposed him, and aid him in remaining in power. Today, January 20th, 2021, you and I, along with the entire world, watched Q's deception and false prophecies fall flat as Joe Biden was sworn in as the 46th President of the United States, while Donald left in shame after holding a very small rally with a few government officials mixed in with white supremacists and followers of Q. The followers of Q were present because they still believed the military at the Capitol would arrest the Democrats, and they believed Donald was going to reveal his great and final plan. Just this morning, Q stated the long-awaited mass arrest of Biden and a host of other deep state Democrats will be followed by the restoration of the Trump presidency. Trump will walk out during the arrest and thank America for re-election, one QAnon supporter posted on a forum shortly before the inauguration. This will be remembered as the greatest day since D-Day. As Biden was sworn in, though, the mass arrest that QAnon believers called the storm stubbornly refused to happen. Trump really did appear to have left the office, rather than springing the sly trap as they had all hoped. The Democrats really did have control of the House and both chambers of Congress. The tens of thousands of National Guard soldiers QAnon believers thought would help Trump retake Washington, instead, appeared to be there for a more obvious purpose, protecting the city from the same crazed QAnon believers who had violently attacked the Capitol 2 weeks earlier. For more than 3 years, tens of thousands of QAnon believers have pinned their hopes for the future on a second Trump term. They've become convinced that the government is run by a cabal of satanic pedophile cannibals, and that Trump is the only way to restore justice. Many of them, egged on by promises that Trump's plan included the eradication of diseases and personal debt, pinned their dreams on QAnon as well, alienating friends and family with their ideas. Then, on Wednesday afternoon, the QAnon future vanished, presenting the ever-expanding conspiracy theory with its greatest challenge yet. As Biden's inauguration became even more certain on Wednesday, QAnon believers rapidly cycled through rationalizations. They claimed that Trump was stepping down as the head of the United States corporation, an idea borrowed from the fringe sovereign citizen legal theories. To become the head of the restored republic, some QAnon leaders claimed that Biden himself was in on the scheme and would soon help Trump carry out the arrests. "Please, God, I'm watching. It's making me sick to my stomach, but I want to see the arrests," one wrote. "Either arrests happen or we are now China's property," wrote another. And as Biden prepared to take the oath, a few minutes before 12 p.m. Eastern Time, despair turned to anger, even at Trump himself. "Thanks, Trump," read one post. "You sold out our country." QAnon channels on the messaging app Telegram was filled with gifs of far-right mascot Pepe the Frog crying, as believers claimed they had been duped. Believers said they felt sick or wanted to throw up. "Trump fooled us," complained one Telegram commenter. All my family and coworkers think I'm crazy, wrote another. I feel stupid, wrote a third. Other top QAnon figures appeared to be backing away, as the former administrator of QAnon Clue's website, 8kun, Ron Watkins, had control over who posted as the mysterious Q. And Ron is probably Q himself. Today, Watkins suggested that the QAnon fight was over. Please remember all the friends and happy memories we made together over the past few years, Watkins wrote in a Telegram post. We keep our chins up and go back to our lives as best we are able. Watkins finished Q by saying, "We have a new president sworn in, and it is our responsibility as citizens to respect the Constitution regardless of whether or not we agree with the specifics or details regarding officials who are sworn in." The message continued, "As we enter into the next administration, please remember all the friends and family and happy memories we made together over the past few years." QAnon has been tied to 3 murders and a terrorist incident near the Hoover Dam, along with a series of other crimes. Biden's top intelligence chief has promised an analysis of the threat posed by the conspiracy theory. We all witnessed many followers of Donald, who claimed also to be followers of Q, pray outside election headquarters in Georgia and Pennsylvania, on their knees, arms raised toward the heavens, crying out to God to stop Biden and bless Donald. We all witnessed the attempted coup on our government in the name of God and Donald Trump. Some of us even saw a video of Q flag-carrying insurrectionists standing in our Capitol building, in the Senate, praying and asking God to remove Mike Pence, Nancy Pelosi, and stop the pedophiles from counting the electors. After all of this fantasy and delusion, and after the false prophet led a group of fake Christians into our nation's seat, is it any wonder why the Bible warns us of the dangers of false prophets? Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Matthew 2:17.